So a friend of mine bought me this little 2-cycle Chinese generator. I don't know where he got it from or what its history is, but it doesn't look like it's seen a lot of hours. We're going to fix it up and get it going. After that, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. The label says 1000 watts, peak, rated power is 850 watts. Somebody's already been in it already, but this is loose. It's missing the pull string, and it's missing the spark plug boot connector thing. But surprisingly, inside the gas tank looks pretty good. I'm going to clean the carburetor, replace the coil, dump out the old gas and clean out the tank. And then I'll see if I can adjust a 2-stroke carburetor. Okay, so first I'm going to put this new coil in. Now the green and the black are on opposite sides from the one I bought. I must have bought the wrong one. Okay, fine. So, put the black with the black one. Green with the green one. Now there's a thing that was behind here that we have to line up to. Alright. My hands are probably in you guys' way, but I do know a better way to show this. Now, I'm going to get this carburetor out. That needs oil in it. Yeah, this thing looks pretty doggone new. Alright, so it turns out I gotta take this cover off of it to slide the carburetor off of the bolts. And there's one other bolt right there under this panel, so I have to take it off first. I don't know why I thought it would be easy. The first time something stops working, the first thing you do is take it to bits. You know, I should have got a wrench because all these are the same. I'm going to take off that bolt right there. Alright, I'm going to go get a wrench. That looks like a 10, 11, 12. Let's see what it is. Ooh, winter chicken dinner. I should have got this before I started. I'm just sliding this off of these 2 carburetor bolts. It feels like it's just these. And all these daggone wires. And that choke handle. We're going to slide this off a little bit. Ooh. Then I'm going to unhook. And I got that little spring off. Now these, I believe I got to slide this off before I can unhook that linkage. Now they had to do this at the factory somehow. So I can't get this linkage off without sliding the carburetor off the studs. But the studs are too long. Now somebody else I watched was able to back these studs out, but I can't get that good a grip on them. I tried the double nut method, that did not work. I'm afraid of damaging the gaskets. I don't want to take this piece off because I don't know what it is or even what the gasket to replace that is called. Those look like 8mm. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, it ain't that tight. Maybe I won't hurt nothing. I should have brought a socket instead. Nope. It had to be a wrench. There we go. And all that just to get the carburetor off. I ain't never seen one of these in a while, but just from looking at the YouTube videos, there's a ton of them out there. Gotta be one in every crowd. And it's loose. Okay. Ta-da! I want to get that back on there with no crud anywhere. Alright, I'm going to cover that up with something. And then I'm going to take this carburetor in the house and clean it. I'm going to leave that gasket right where it's at because it's stuck pretty good and I don't want to damage it. Alright, I'm going to get the carburetor cleaned out without messing with any of the adjustments. Oh, but that's not too bad in there. Now we want to take this float off. I'm going to pull this little pin right there out and under that. Oops, we dropped it already. There's the needle. But this little hole right up in here is the one we want to clean it. Well, we want to clean them all out, but that one in particular. So I'm going to give her a little squirt down. I want to make sure this little fella's really clean. And I want to make sure that little hole in there is completely clear. And I got some little skinny stuff to stick in it. Alright, that looks clear. Now there's a tricky part. What I'm doing is, see that little tab in there? On this wire, slip over this little tab right there, and it hangs on like that. If I don't do something stupid. Alright, that's seated in its hole. Okay. There's another jet down in there. Straight down in the bottom. go back outside and put it back together. So I'm going to slide the carburetor back on here. Let's not tear the gasket. Try to get this back in here. Let's try not to hold everything at once. I'm going to get this little hook and this Z-bend in this hole. Okay, the spring is in. That's on. Now I can hook it onto this. I know you couldn't see that, but it was a pain in the ass. Alright, that's a ticket. So all that's left is to rinse out the fuel tank and see if it'll run on its own. So I thought it probably not a bad idea. Shit, that looks new. But I'm going to drop a couple of drops of this here two-stroking oil down into the fire hole. See if I can do this without making a mess. Ought to be lubed up good. So the fuel tank's been cleaned out. I've got to put the gas tank back on and hook up the fuel line. Now let's go get a starter and some gas. I don't want to put too much in there because I'm not going to leave it in there. The gas is on. The ON OFF switch is to the ON position. Choke is on. Now it's going to smoke if it fires because I poured that oil in the combustion chamber. Okay, well it runs. It sounds like it needs some adjustment though. Let's see if it's putting out any power. It definitely needs to be adjusted to get the proper voltage coming out of it. Let's see if it'll run some. Now if you remember when I first got this generator running, it wouldn't run anything. But after about 2 minutes on YouTube, I found there's a way to adjust it. It's got a real narrow window of adjustment, and I had to overvolt it a little bit to get it to power anything, and the linkage is a little bit sticky. I think I've got it adjusted now. First thing I'm going to try to power is this heat gun. That's worst case scenario. It's giving us 830 watts. I got 900 out of it earlier. So I'm calling that a win. Here's what else we're going to do just for fun. We're going to unplug this heat gun and plug in this power supply. Now I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Oh damn, you can't read it. Anyway, it says 27.8. Current is all the way up, so let's crank this up. My batteries are mostly charged. Ooh, that says we're getting 10 amps out, 350 watts. We'll crank this down a little bit. I don't want to kill that power supply right after I got it fixed. Okay, so I got a repaired generator. And a repaired power supply. And some homemade camper van batteries. Okay, so in an emergency scenario, I could get 900 watts out of that with the right charger to get me out of trouble. But that would really be a bad emergency. I'd have to be not driving and no sun for about a week. But I'm calling this a win. I got two things that can help me out, and I got them for free because they were broken.